All right, how you guys doing? It's the Red Pill Dispensary. Important video here. If you haven't heard yet, you may not have. It hasn't. It's only been like a half hour. Trump, President Trump, just declared a national emergency on March 13th, 2020, at 3:36 p.m. Now, doing my research, I focused my research on the science of this situation, and I believe it is a real, breathing, living, understated situation. Um, Now, would most of us die if we got it? I'd assume no. My only worry is reinfection, which there were reports of that happening out of China. But now they're saying that once you get it, that's it. I guess it might depend on if you get the S or the L. There's actually four, but the two main ones. Um, but there's so much to go over. Also, first let me just say everything. Also, 1,000 National Guard troops deployed to 3 states. Um, I know that the ones in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, they report they're working out of the HHS. Um, so now you would think, what's the big deal? Well, I was going back and forth with somebody that like we share ideas. You know, um, they're a little bit plugged in, and they know what they're talking about. And they were talking about the fact that, well, actually, I'll tell you what they were talking about after. But I don't want to jump around, so let me stick on topic. So I had found something and it confirmed it. When I find an article, you can't believe the internet. You need to confirm. So what it said was, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they are going to now classify anything coming out of, I'm sorry, going into HHS. At first, the way it reads, it just looks like anything going on at HHS is classified. I spoke to a source. They told me, no, it's what's coming to HHS that is classified, which makes a lot more sense. As they're getting data, they want to be able to classify it. That way it can't be leaked because, it could be some um, type of information that would cause panic. And we've already seen the signs of panic. I mean, people make a joke out of it, and I'll be honest, I laughed. The toilet paper wars, things like that. But also, pay attention to the date. And there's so many things I want to get to. Pay attention to the date. Now, through my research, I have come across the 33 conspiracy, and I find it interesting. I found some videos that like really broke it down, and there's a lot of code going back and forth, and gematria, even not even gematria, just there's certain numbers that mean certain things. But 33 is seems to be a way they've been communicating, and I always give like credit where credit's due. Like, you know, Adam and I had problems in the past. I gave him credit where credit's due because he's been covering this well, and his information is important because he is in one of those zones that are most affected, Seattle. Um, But I was watching a video. I gotta give him credit, friggin' Iggy. Going into the gematria, and this isn't the first time he's talked about it. He talked about it on a couple shows, so this isn't just out of nowhere. But the 113, and he was going through the movie Contagion and gematria, and then how the 33 and the 133 and 1133 or three or the other way backwards, it just keeps coming up. And sure enough, with that in the back of my head, I wasn't sure what to think of it. I'm like, yeah, a lot of coincidences because I know a lot about gematria, and I was just like, but there's a couple. There was one really interesting link. I forget exactly. There was one that got me, but I didn't know what to think of it. And then you look at the date of when this was done. It's and um, March 13th at 3:36, and of course you have the six, which you know some people could easily probably, I'm sure some of these guys like what's his name, someone help me out. He's amazing with the gematria and stuff. He can make that into 6668 somehow. I bet you it comes out to something. I don't know what, but it has the 33. It has the, and by the way, lately, ever since I saw that video, I've been noticing scientists and people on TV, instead of referring to March 11th, which by the way, that's when they declared a pandemic. And what does that come out to? 311. Now, again, this was, I don't know if it was found by someone before him, but as far as I know, this was found by Iggy. I give him props just like I gave my Fugel props. And it's my job to tell my audience, you know, what's going on. And I see correlations and things that stick out that you can't ignore. These dates, and I've always known that there's something deeper behind this. I just don't deny that it's not happening, and I'm happy I've really stayed to the science because now I have that knowledge going forward. But these dates, when they're on TV, they don't refer to it as March 11th. What they keep on saying is 311. When does that, unless you're talking about 9/11, right? When do you ever refer to a date as 311? You know what I mean? You just don't do that. And then, it also goes the other way, like 11:33 or something like that, or 11:03. And, you know, um, as somebody who was in the Navy, we don't write the date the way the civilians do. We write the date, it would be 11/3 nights. Oh, am I messing this up? Wait, does the year go? No, I think, yeah, 11/3/19. So we would write it, the day, then the month. So 11/3. So that also fits. And what they've been talking about that, I really didn't. I wasn't sure. I'm like, I don't know. Gematria can be. Sometimes a lot of things come out to the same numbers just by the way it works, and certain letters, and But now with this, it's something worth pointing out. Now let's go forward. Um, and like I said, I'm telling you, there was probably 5 different occasions the past 2 days I've heard March 11th and today, March 13th, referred to as 311 and 313. It's just like the threes and the one. So it stuck in my head, and when I saw it, I couldn't deny it. So I give props, whatever. All right. Um, and you know what? It doesn't even matter. Even if I have problems with someone and I'm upset with them, human to human, whatever we're in for, whether this the virus is really just gonna run through us, take at least a few 100,000, maybe probably more. Um, it's just that's the way it works, regardless of the precautions. and you get National Guard troops deployed. Um, Now, I was just looking up. I watched the statement right away. I was gonna go live right away, but I was like, hold on, let me really like look at what the national emergency means. How does it affect us? What happens with the national emergency that we should know about? Because there's always, the fine line, the little that they add in there. So they've already released the 8.3. I think that, and one thing though, the other bill that they're trying to put through, Senate's gonna take recess next week. What are you kidding me? I don't care, Democrat, Republican, they should all be ashamed of themselves. I mean, word is that yeah, the Democrats don't. They feel like it's not enough of their stuff in the bill, and they're the ones that might be holding it up. But I blame them both. They need to figure it out. They need to figure it out. And it's Friday, and they're taking the whole week off next week during the biggest. This is a crisis that people are starting to realize what I've been saying for a month and a half. Now, okay, I do also see another angle. This could also be a way to distract, but that doesn't mean it's not worth obviously knowing about. But it could be a way to distract, and this is when you're gonna start seeing things happening under the scenes. For instance, I have done many videos on quantum mechanics, quantum computing, D wave. How the chip. It's actually inside a D wave where the chip is. It is colder than anywhere in the universe. You go in the middle of space and it's colder than that. It's as closest as you can get to absolute zero Kelvin. And it's crazy. Like it actually has like a heartbeat. It's just unbelievable. And it alone proves there's other dimensions. Now the problem is, it focuses on like just one task at a time, right? And they have to figure out a way to spin the numbers and do all this stuff that's very complicated. Um, but they have, and you're not going to hear this anywhere because there's so much big news. We got the leaders of all these different countries either getting the coronavirus, or they just met with three people for lunch and shake their hands, and they got positive, and I'm telling you, it's gonna get crazy. But a huge breakthrough was made. They've been trying this for 58 years. Now, have they had a D wave? Have they had a D wave? No, not until the D wave was made. But I'm talking about 58 years ago. It's like they didn't have this type of equipment. Well, the theory was still there. The theory was proven true, and now we're deep into it. But there was a breakthrough made. They found a way to make it so they can have quantum computers. Like the big thing that's been stopping them from making quantum computers, and almost like having them, like you can buy them and have them in your house, and you can do that now. But I'm talking about like on a mass scale. And by the way, quantum computing, just what it does, it's like it was made for AI. You combine those two, and biblically, cryptocurrency, you have a beast system on your hands. And don't forget about CERN, of course. But it's those three, I believe, that like Trinity right there. That would be a beast system, an AI that I mean, who knows? It's just been so much going on. 2020 has been nuts, and right now it's crazier than ever. And I'm seeing certain signs that there's definitely more behind this. Um, for instance, like the fact it doesn't affect children, it affects the elderly. But that there's some obvious you know um, conspiracies I could pull from that, and I have. But I just think there's something deeper to this. I'm just keeping. I just try to keep an open mind because once you come married to an idea, listen, they are using cutting edge technology that for instance like a quantum computer, it will find the most optimal outcome or the most optimal action to create the outcome you want. So for me to sit here and like marry some idea and act like I know for sure, it's started that. You know what I mean? Like it's in order to really get at it, we got to realize what we're dealing with. And it's going to take a collective. And that's why I watch all different videos. And I spend a lot of time researching. Like, there's so many things going through my head I want to get into. I just don't want to jump around. I have a tendency to do that. Now, um, uh, and a head injury. um, this computer. What they did, they they've been trying this 58 years and couldn't figure it out. Well, the way they figured it out was by accident. It was, it's all. It seems like every invention story is like that. Like penicillin, the guy left something in the fridge too long. It got all moldy or whatever, and that's how they found penicillin, which is amazing antibiotic. Which, by the way, just so you know, China actually makes most of the antibiotics, if not like almost all of the antibiotics that we buy here in the U.S. Um, I'm telling you, this supply chain stuff's a big deal. I happened to go to the pharmacy today. I was going to get once, and my computer is only less than 3 months old or something like that. It's like 3 months old. So I don't know. But if you're watching this on a replay, then just there's no gap. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Okay, so there were like almost 40 people here, but you know, it died. So I'm just gonna continue on replay. You'll be able to see it all smooth all together. Okay, back into it. Okay, so what does this national emergency do? Okay, well, what it does is it really it releases funds, right? That's the big thing. There is a certain amount that's set aside for this type of stuff, and they can dip into it as needed. Some people are saying 50 million. Well, it's close, but that's not the number. The number is actually 42.3 billion, I believe, or 42.4 billion, something like that. So, lot of money, right? Big time money. So that's just to dip into as needed, because this can get out of hand. I mean, the whole idea that they want to do is slow it down instead of like really like start attacking and all that. They just want to slow it down. Now, what's that mean? They say slow it down. What's that really mean? What it means really is that they won't have any spikes. So if everyone's home, if people aren't working, if all that, people are still going to get infected, and it's going to be exponential each day, kind of like we saw in other countries. We see something like 10. It's like the same thing here. I remember President Trump saying we only have 11. Well, every day that goes by, that number, depending on the naught number, which happens to be 5.8, higher than any virus recorded in recent history. I mean, that's. I mean, it's not official, but that looks like that's what it's going to be around that. I've heard some scientists that I don't trust that actually mention. All right, guys. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this information out the way I want. Please thumbs up, and also listen. I do a lot of like research and really like try hard, and I'm not monetized or anything. And I never really do this, but um, first of all, prep. If you are all prepped up and you can afford to, any donations would be greatly appreciated. I'm just gonna be straight up. My PayPal, you'll see it on most videos, or it's always in the live chat. My mods always put my my PayPal in the live chat if you wish to donate to the channel. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be following exactly where this money goes. We're talking 42.3, I believe, billion. Okay, that can be dipped into, along with the 8, along with the 4, and for some reason Congress Senate taking next week off. I don't care, Republican, yeah, it's probably the Democrats slowing it up, but it doesn't matter. They're all to blame. Should have came to some kind of agreement for the country. It's unbelievable. It's disgusting. And listen, this is things change. Now it's national emergency. Things change. And one thing I want to say real quick before I get cut off again, because I just keep getting cut off. Watch Trump in the national emergency. Tell me if he seems himself, or does he seem a bit off, or that something's up, or something's bothering him, or I don't know what, but he's odd. It's not the Trump I know. And he's faced so much in his tenure. And, he'll get angry, but you never see him kind of look the way he does. Watch it. I'm telling you, watch it and study him. And, please leave in the comments what you see. So yeah, basically it's just gonna allocate all that money, but also the National Guard's out. We just sent a bunch of troops over to Europe, even though there's a Europe ban coming over. I think that my theory that's been going on for weeks now is true. The whole thing with that ceasefire with Turkey and Syria, with Russia and Iran backing them, now that especially that Iran kind of messed with us, although, who knows, I think a war's coming, and there's always an FF before a war. So I don't think that was it, but it could have been a small. I don't know. I think it's legit, but still. Um, and then what's going to happen next? What do they say? The fall when Damascus is left in ruins. Well, we could easily do that, and that's going to be part of the battlefield. The main battlefield is going to be exactly where ISIS said the world would come to an end, which is northern Syria in this town, this village town thing. That's was the place where they were going to fight to the end, but they got eliminated. However, now when you got some serious countries, all with nukes except for Iran, who's obviously trying, then Saudi Arabia cuts the oil, puts pressure on Russia. Russia has 2 reconnaissance jets over Alaska. The American and the Canadian military intercept them and escort them out. But by then, listen, this isn't a fight. This is a reconnaissance jet. They already got what they needed at that point. At the same time, guys, one more thing to add to the list. And I'm sorry for the fan mongering, but what am I going to sugarcoat the reality of what's going on right now? Yellowstone, all of a sudden, the magma is starting to come up. It's like it's becoming a little bit active. Actually, surprisingly active. And I'll tell you one thing: Yellowstone goes off, forget it. Also, Denver Airport. There's something that goes from Denver Airport to DC. I'll give you a hint. Where did Princess Di die? Princess Diana. Where'd she die? What was it, like a... I think that I might look back at this video and be like, wow, because of that. Now, we all know about the murals on the wall. If, you've been a truther for, if you know it, I'm sure most of you have. If you haven't, check it out. It's unbelievable. They have the friggin' pale horse right outside. And basically, I stick to what I've said since the beginning. It's like the white horse is the coronavirus. It comes with a crown and a bow because it hits you from afar, and it has the crown, the corona. Then comes the red horse, the war. Well, in case you didn't notice, last week until the ceasefire, there was a war. There was 2,200 people killed. The 35 Turkish or 33 Turkish, actually, I think. Look that up. It might be 33 Turkish were killed, and they responded and killed a bunch. Ended up being 2,200 dead. with markets crashing, people are gonna get desperate. Um, I'm telling you, there's more to this. There's and really, what really gives it away is the troops to Europe. And people are worried, like, what about us? We need troops here. Don't worry. Red pill dispensary. Stay frosty. I can't even get out of here. All right, guys. Guys, prep up. Prep up. Please prep up. Don't be one of those assholes and take way more than you need of, like, certain alcohol. You know, just prep up. And if you can donate, donate. Red pill dispensary. I'm out of here, guys. I'll see you later.